The power of diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic as in using your diaphragm. So where is the diaphragm? It's kind of down here at the base of your lungs. And if you look at mouth breathing, which doesn't use the diaphragm as much as nose breathing, when we use our mouths, we generally tend to breathe quite shallow. It tends to be quite shoulder dominant. It's like, right, a lot of movement in the shoulders. And what happens is we're breathing quite shallow. We're not getting anywhere near as much oxygen in as we would if we were using the diaphragm. And the reason for that is if you're using the diaphragm, basically you're creating a bigger space at the bottom of your lungs in order for your lungs to expand. So if there's more space for the lungs to expand out into, there's more capacity for air to go in, right? So if you use your diaphragm by engaging that diaphragm and breathing in through the nose instead, it has many, many benefits. When you mouth breathe, again, as I said, it's shallow and ultimately you're not getting as much oxygenated blood around your body, okay? If you're not breathing with your diaphragm and you're only breathing with a certain percentage of your lungs, a low level percentage of your lungs, then what happens is you're not getting as much air in with each breath, and therefore there's not as much oxygen in your lungs to then be distributed and channeled around the rest of your body through your circulation, through your blood being pumped from the heart around the rest of the body. So if you breathe in deeper by using your diaphragm, by breathing in through the nose and expanding, feeling like you're expanding the belly every time you breathe in, when you do that, when you can learn how to do that and you develop your breathing so that you do that naturally, with every breath you're taking a lot more air in, and therefore you're giving your body a lot more oxygen. And oxygen is like what our bodies need. The more oxygen you can give it, the better, and the better it works for you. If you're exercising, the more air that you can breathe in, and specifically the more oxygen you can get in, the better you're going to be able to perform. The longer, faster, harder you're going to be able to work. Whereas if you are trying to work really hard and you're breathing very shallow, it becomes very difficult because there's not enough oxygen in your system that is being delivered to the muscles to then help you propel and move you however you're asking it to move, whether that's running up the stairs or whether that's playing 3 hours of tennis or running for however long you want or swimming or anything else, okay? Diaphragmatic breathing. Look it up. I'm sure there are over 1 million Google entries on how to do diaphragmatic breathing, but the important message is to switch over to it as soon as you've read this episode, or as soon as you've listened or watched this podcast or YouTube video, or wherever it is that you're hearing this message. Diaphragmatic breathing is so much better for you, and it's a simple change. It's not a subtle change from breathing in through your mouth all the time, but if you can, it will help you to feel so much better very, very quickly, because you're just getting more air into this beautiful body of yours. Diaphragmatic breathing, give it a go.